that I really like about Dave Chappelle is that Dave Chappelle really does not give a damn what anyone thinks about him. And sometimes that can be a scary thing. And sometimes it can be, an empowerment thing. But he really doesn't. He just does not give a damn. And he especially didn't give a damn when he made these comments about DJ Khaled. Because you see, many of us that have been talking about Israel and Gaza and the West Bank, we've noticed that a very well-known, famous Palestinian American named DJ Khaled has been very silent. Very silent, folks. And now someone in the entertainment industry is calling him out for it. Now, people need to remember Dave Chappelle is Muslim. So for Dave Chappelle, as a Muslim, he may kind of look at this like, really? You're not going to say anything? Think about it that way. Let's get into it. And I'll explain to you why he's so silent. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of that, guys. Okay? So Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle roasts Trump, Israel-Iran conflict, and DJ Khaled silence. Ooh. Let's go on. Traveling to the Gulf days after a ceasefire went into effect, the American comedian made light of the president's unpredictability during his performance at a sold-out Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. So he was at Abu Dhabi's comedy season. Trump, I don't know about this guy. I can't tell if he's going to do good or not. What a week you guys must have had over here in the Middle East. The 51-year-old entertainer also brought up the president's Saturday Truth Social post announcing airstrikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. Trump wrote that we did a meticulously perfect attack. We have disabled their nuclear facility. And then at the end of the post, he said, now is the time for peace. Word? I don't think that's how this works, champ. Of course, you guys know Chappelle can do this better than me. So just keep that in mind. But this part right here, I think is very telling. Like he also talked about Pete Hegseth. And here's an image of him here. He said that Trump bombed Iran in an attack that was carefully planned on WhatsApp. So I think Chappelle is hilarious as hell. But this is where it comes to DJ Khaled. When an audience member yelled out the name of Palestinian American musician DJ Khaled, the comedian questioned why the DJ has remained silent over the war in Gaza. DJ Khaled, let me tell you something. For a Palestinian, this man is awfully quiet right now. And as a Palestinian, how could you be that quiet right now? And why are you so fat? People are starving. He's the only fat Palestinian on earth right now. Dave Chappelle joked. The comedian has been outspoken about the suffering of Palestinians since the Israel-Gaza war began. Last year, during his show in Abu Dhabi, he described Israel's actions as a genocide. And that was 2 cheers of the audience. So Dave Chappelle is calling out DJ Khaled, which, like I said, more people, in particular in the music industry, should be doing that. But there's a reason why they're not. And there's a reason why DJ Khaled is so silent. So first and foremost, there was another opportunity where DJ Khaled could have said something. And this was when Sneeko showed up at an event. It says Fest New York. It says even Sneeko tried to get DJ Khaled to say free Palestine, but he ignored him and stayed silent. Check this out. You guys get to see it in real time.
Is that DJ Khaled? Hold on. That's DJ Khaled right there. Hold on.
DJ's my boy, I'll introduce you.
Hey, you from Palestine? Tell him free Palestine. Free Palestine, DJ Khaled. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. He didn't say it.
No, he did not say it. So it's not as though people haven't asked him, right? And by the way, I'm not really a fan of Sneeko either, because he can be that way for one group, but then he can also be really racist towards other groups. Here was another time. DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled is a joke. Israel has been carpet bombing his country and burning Palestinians alive for 15 months straight, and he couldn't even utter a word about Palestine. It's disgusting. They're referring to this post here from DJ Khaled. Remember when the fires broke out in LA? DJ Khaled posted sending prayers to everyone in LA, but not in Gaza, West Bank. No, but you can send prayers to everyone in LA. Word. But there is a reason. You see, shout out to Mint Press News because they broke this down quite so long ago. They called for a moment of silence for DJ Khaled. You know, the secret to DJ Khaled's silence on Palestine. And this is the guy that you hear on multiple songs, you know, especially at the beginning. DJ Khaled, we're the best. We're taking over. That DJ Khaled, right? A vocal person. He's not like one of those producers that's, you know, hidden. He's very vocal and lively. But let's see who DJ Khaled has ties to. Let's move on, ladies and gents. DJ Khaled's label, We the Best, is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group, right? So this is what I said before when I was talking about some of these labels. See, you really do have to follow the money because it's easy to say Diddy owns Bad Boy. That's a label. It's easy to say DJ Khaled owns, you know, We the Best. That's a label. But oftentimes, these people don't own the actual company. Just like when we went through the whole, you know, Diddy Epstein article that Whitney Webb wrote, Whitney Webb laid it out so perfectly so that people can really see that even though Diddy owned Bad Boy, he wasn't in the position of power. He didn't own Arista Records. He didn't own MCA. You see what I'm saying? So follow that. Follow that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, why is this a problem? You know, I mean, what is the issue with it being a part of UMG, Universal Music Group? Well, let's break it down. Here we go. Who owns it? Always ask yourself who owns it. The CEO of Universal Music Group is Lucian Grange. Lucian Grange is a supporter of the Friends of the IDF charity. You see this? See what I mean? And most of the time, you don't see the owners. You don't see who owns these companies. So that's one of them. There's more. Let's go on a little bit more. Caroline Grange, the wife of Universal Music Group CEO, funds the Zionist Federation and other Israel lobby groups. You don't say. That's the wife. Another director of Universal Music Group is Haim Sabin, the largest fundraiser for the Friends of the IDF in history. All these people connected. Check this out. Haim Sabin is also credited with writing the script for U.S. President Joe Biden's policy on Israel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you tell me something. Why is a music executive writing foreign policy for the president of the United States? Don't you think that's a little strange? They're all controlled by big business and big money. So let's follow those dots, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back. Let's follow the dots. You see how all these people are connected? And see who DJ Khaled is connected to? So you got Lucian Grange. I want you to remember the names as we go into the next part. Caroline Grange, the wife, and Haim Sabin. Now let's go to the next part. Because now we're going to go to other parts of the family. Lucian Grange has a son. Lucian Grange's son is the CEO of Atlantic Music. Say what? Yeah, because you see, this is all connected. The rise of Elliot Grange, a brief career timeline of Atlantic Music Group's incoming CEO. So at the time, it said, tracing the rapid ascent of a 30-year-old record executive and the son of UMG's Lucian Grange, from his early entrepreneurial ventures to his industry-shaking new role. So this is Lucian's son. Lucian's son, he has taken over the lead of Atlantic Music Group. So he's the CEO of Atlantic Music Group. So, anywho, I want people to see this, this tree, so to speak. Okay? Because we're looking at DJ Khaled and we're asking him, why are you so silent? And if you see who DJ Khaled really works for, because he does have a boss. And a lot of times people don't follow this pattern. They don't follow the chain. They just see, well, DJ Khaled owns his own label. Yeah, but he worked for somebody. Just like Diddy worked for Clive Davis. Just because you own the label don't mean you own the company the label is under. So we connect these dots, right? So he got a son. All these people are connected. Now check this out. Mondaweiss reported this. Shout out to Mondaweiss. They've been excellent on this as well. Biden's Israel policy is scripted by Sabin. What did I tell you? So we're going back to Sabin now, Ham Sabin. See, they covered this. Biden will meet with Netanyahu at the UN and do nothing to pressure his racist right-wing government because he needs mega donor Haim Sabin for 2024. And Sabin says, I'm a one-issue guy and my issue is Israel. Again, why is a music executive telling the president of the United States what to do for foreign policy? This is why I continue to say, until you get corporate money out of electoral politics, these things aren't going to change. These people are controlled. More people need to be talking about this. So, again, with Haim, every now and then the Democratic Party mega donor Haim Sabin surfaces and makes refreshing remarks to the press. I'm a one issue guy and my issue is Israel. Now, let me pause here for a second, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to prove a point. There are a number of times you will hear voters say, I'm a one issue voter, right? You've heard Black voters say, and even on this show, that their single issue is reparations or their single issue is a Black agenda. But now when they say those things, they're called divisive. But here you have a mega donor who makes it very clear that he is a one issue voter and his issue is Israel. And this is what I want everybody to wake up to. Why is it okay for people to have their one issue be Israel, but it's not okay for other groups to have a one issue? You following what I'm saying? Okay, we got to point this out. He popped up 10 days ago. He gave an interview to an Israeli newspaper, and he said he was invited to lunch with the Biden White House in early September, and the meeting was supposed to last an hour, but it lasted 3 hours. He justifies giving money to AIPAC, which supports Republican election deniers, because his one issue is Israel. So you see this? The only goal of this organization is to prevent people who are against U.S. Israel relations from advancing and to support those who support relations between Jerusalem and Washington. Did everybody hear what he just said? He wants to prevent people who don't support Israel from advancing. Again, a music executive. So if he's saying this to the president of the United States at that time, what the hell was he saying to people like DJ Khaled? What was he saying to people in the music industry? Goes on to say here, Democrats called me and said, "Are you stupid? You're a Democrat who supports 2020 election deniers." I always say the same thing. It's a specific defined issue, and that is the U.S.-Israel relationship. In that sense, I'm not interested in anything else. Everybody, okay, so once again, for all the people in the chat who push back when people say they are interested in that one issue and that's it, and people push back on them and they call them divisive, I'm going to say this one more time. One particular lobby group has tremendous power in this country, and there are donors that also support the Jewish lobby, the Israel lobby in this country. They support it, and they clearly tell you that this one issue and that is it. So the Biden administration was willing to go along and work along with this guy who supported Trump and Trump-like politicians, and he was willing to work along with them. That tells you right there to your face, all this rhetoric that they put in front of you to make you think that they're so against the Republican Party. It is an act. It's theater. They work together behind the scenes because they have similar donors. Follow the money. Again, as you'll see here, not interested in anything else. But let other groups say this, right? Sabin has complete confidence in the Democratic Party leadership, Joe Biden, and said the party is still solidly pro-Israel, and there are only about a dozen members of Congress who are anti-Israel. So Sabin was scripting Biden's policy on Israel. They raised $4.5 million for Biden at a fundraiser weeks before the 2020 election. Everybody see what's going on? Sabin was true to his word. He's a one-issue guy. Yada, yada. The Sabins, him and his wife, supported Hillary Clinton in 2008 because she was a war horse for Israel. That's it. That's why these people don't feel like they need to have any policies or run on anything. That's it. The one issue and the one issue only. The next time somebody come to you and you say, well, I only care about this one issue, and somebody points their finger at you and they say that's being divisive, you can tell them to fuck off. Because you've had the Israel lobby in this country that has been prioritizing one issue for years. Again, shout out to Mondaweiss. It goes on to say here that they supported Hillary, as I said. Sabin reportedly deflated by Clinton's loss to Obama, whom he did not trust on Israel. For instance, Sabin was angered when Obama refused to echo Hillary Clinton's call to obliterate Iran if Iran attacked Israel. Once again, why was this man telling presidential candidates or presidents what they should do for foreign policy? Music executive. And Obama refused to meet with Sabin. As Sabin told Connie Bruck of The New Yorker, I had a list of questions in Chicago. Obama campaign headquarters could not organize that meeting. I was ready and willing to be helpful, but helpful is not to write a check for $2,300. It's to raise millions, for which I'm capable of doing, but Chicago wasn't able to deliver the meeting, so I couldn't get on board. Later, Obama came to appreciate Sabin's millions, and Obama pulled in his horns on Israel. Let me put this, you know what? Let me put this article, the link to this article in the chat so you guys can read this on your own time as well. So, all right, I put the link in there for that for you guys. So you see what I'm saying? Everybody see what's happening here. Okay? Sabin gave $30 million to the Clinton Foundation when Hillary was Secretary of State. When she was Secretary of State, and gave her $16 million to her presidential run in 2016. That tells you the type of money that he has. But I just want to remind you, he is up at the top. All these artists that are working for Universal Music Group, they're not making what he's making. So like I said, once again, follow the money. This is how a lot of times musicians end up broke, because they're not making they sell all these albums, but mainly a lot of times they're making most of their money on tour. And also nowadays, because of Spotify and iTunes, do people even still buy CDs anymore? So let's just put it all together. Now that's him. Okay. That's him. These are all the people that DJ Khaled is connected to. So you guys got to understand, when you see people like Macklemore, for example, very vocal, wrote multiple songs criticizing Israel. Macklemore is independent. He's not a part of like Universal Music Group, from what I understand. He can speak out, more on these issues. And here's another one. Remember when Joe Biden decided to halt weapons for just a bit? By the way, that was an act as well. That was him to try to convince the protesters that he was considering. He wasn't. It was just an act. He never asked Netanyahu for a ceasefire. Biden and Kamala never asked for it. They sold out from the get-go. The day they walked in the White House, they sold their souls from the get-go. Now you connect all the damn dots, goddammit. Because this guy donated to Hillary Clinton to get her in, donated to Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton recruited Kamala Harris for the Senate. You picking up what I'm talking? You picking it up? All these people are connected. That is the circle. They pick who they want. Now, he got upset. Hollywood mega donor Ham Sabin slams Biden's decision to halt weapon shipment to Israel. So this when he come in, and again, that wasn't a permanent thing. That was just a pause, and then he starts sending weapons right back over to him, right? So he came in and said, let's not forget there are more Jewish voters who care about Israel than Muslim voters who care about Hamas. Sabin wrote in an email to senior Biden aides, Steve Ricchetti and Anita Dunn. And by the way, Axios reported this. They reported it. The comments drew condemnation from Muslim American leaders who described Sabin's email as unhinged, hateful, petulant, anti-Muslim. But again, the Democratic Party also supports white supremacy, even though they put on Kunta Kinte cloth after the death of George Floyd. That don't mean anything. That's just virtue signaling. They all still are agents for white supremacy. Now, again, I told you before, there's different types. There's overt. A lot of the racism that you see come from the Republican Party, that's overt racism. A lot of the racism you see come from the Democratic Party is covert racism. And some of that racism from the Democratic Party is also structural too. This is something that I dive into in the documentary that we're working on. You'll see that, how I apply it to Boston, about how a lot of the racism in Boston is structural racism. And we get into that. So the same people. So just think about this now. You literally have a vice president who was a woman of color, and they were allowing these racist donors talk about Palestinians the way that they did, and they went right along with it. They are all agents of white supremacy. This is something that Cornel West was correct about. And then you got to break it down. Now let's get back to DJ. DJ Khaled is a part of the Zionist influence on the music industry. This is from Press TV. It's all connected. UMG is the world's largest music company. The CEO, Lucian Grange, a supporter of the Friends of Israeli Offense Forces, heads a company with significant power. Everybody need to follow me. Caroline Grange funds the Zionist Federation in the Conservative Party. Billionaire Ham Sabin, who we just talked about, also has his own subsidiary through Universal and is known to be one of the largest donors to the Friends of the IOF in the organization's history. The infamous Lord Levi also worked as a financial consultant to Universal at the time as fundraising for former Israeli Prime Minister and close friend Ehud Barak. So when I say, like, that's how connected they are to Israel. So this part is interesting. However, the most important lobbyist to emerge out of Universal Music Group is probably David Renzer, former CEO of Universal Publishing. Renzer, along with other well-placed figures in the music and film industry, started an organization by the name Creative Community for Peace. The name sounds innocent enough, but examining the legal documents on its founding, we see that it was a part of one entity called Israel Emergency Alliance with a group called Stand With Us. Stand With Us works closely with the Israeli Foreign Ministry of Affairs and has in recent years obtained funding directly from the Israeli Prime Minister's office. So you have music executives that are that tight with Benjamin Netanyahu. All connected. It goes on to say here, check this out. You can see why Creative Community of Peace would use the word peace, right? See, they trying to trick you. They trying to trick you. As Stand With Us have said, always include the word peace in your answer. If the Israeli side says peace more times than the Palestinian side says peace, we will win the PR war. Everybody following? Now, despite their best efforts, the CCFP have not been able to live down their relationship with Stand With Us, the founder claiming there is no day-to-day relationship with it. CCFP take credit for lobbying stars like Alicia Keys, Macy Gray to perform in Israel following BDS campaigns asking to pull out in solidarity with Palestinians. So you guys hear all that? All of you that love Alicia Keys, you see how Alicia Keys can sell out for a lot of these people in the music industry are Zionist. See how she can do that? Then it goes on to say here, one of the more organization's ambassadors is Ziggy Marley's son of the late great political firebrand Bob Marley. This is another thing. We got to have a conversation with our reggae peeps. We got to have a conversation with the Ziggy Marley, Ziggy and Damien. And I know some of you love their music. I love their music too. But we got a conversation because I found out about this, I think it was right after October 7th, that they are also Zionist. So Press TV, they put this out and like people need to see this. This is very important. Very important. And it also reminds me of that article that Whitney Webb wrote about the connection between Diddy, Epstein, Clive Davis, that whole connection. Again, what is the commonality here? Anytime you have a music executive that is advising the president of the United States on foreign policy, we have problems, folks. So for anyone who still tries to defend DJ Khaled and say, well, he doesn't have to say anything. No, snap out of it. Snap out of it. DJ Khaled is basically bowing to his masters here over at UMG. Now, DJ Khaled has a lot of money. And if he wants to, he could walk away from all of that. He really got to produce no more. He can walk away from all of that. But I don't care how much money you make. You don't ever let it get to the point where you won't even speak up for your own damn people. And you literally have another country trying to ethnically cleanse the people, and your ass is silent. So kudos to Dave Chappelle, because somebody else in the entertainment industry needed to call this out. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.